Welcome back. This is tutorial 3. We'll be starting with part 1, RL3-1. So tutorial 3 deals with creating schedules and also the color room legend. So we're going to be creating a door schedule first, then a window schedule, then we'll be adding the room tags for this project, and then creating a room finish schedule, and then finishing up with creating the room legend. So we'll start with the door schedule. So I've already opened up and saved this file as 3-1. So over here on the left in the project browser, you're going to see a section called Schedules Quantities. So go ahead and expand that. So the drawing or the template file comes with a door schedule. So we can go ahead and open this and take a quick look at it. So just double click on door schedule. So you can see here we've got a pre-made schedule with things such as the door number, door type, door size, that kind of thing. So we're going to delete this schedule and create our own. I think that's easier than trying to modify this existing schedule. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this. And then we'll probably end up doing the same thing with the window schedule when we get to that point. All right, so let's go to View, and then Schedules, and then Schedules Quantities. Okay, and then we'll go down to Door Schedule, or Doors. So it'll automatically name this Door Schedule. And then this shouldn't be an issue, but make sure you're in new construction. If you're in existing, it's not going to show any of these doors because they're all considered to be in the new construction phase of the project. We haven't really talked about phasing, but if you're doing a remodel, Revit has the ability, it's more of an advanced thing, but Revit has the ability of creating different types of phases, so you can have like a demo phase and that kind of thing, and then show them on your drawing in different ways. Okay, so I'm going to hit the OK button. So this is going to open up the Schedule Properties box, and then you're going to drag over fields from the Available Fields area, and you're going to place them over in Scheduled Fields. So let's start with Type Mark. So this is going to correspond to the letters that we placed inside the capsules on the plan view. Then we'll go to Count. So this will be Quantity eventually. Then let's go down to Family, and then Width, Height, and then Thickness, and then lastly is Comments, which we're going to rename as Remarks. Okay, so those are our fields. So now we're going to create a new field also. This is not available in the Available Fields, so we're going to click on New Parameter. This will open up the Parameter Properties dialog, and we're going to create a parameter called Glazed Area DS. So just type it in as glz dot area dash DS. The reason for the DS is so that when we do this, we do the parameter for the window schedule, there won't be any conflict. So we want to create a unique parameter for the glazed area. And then the type of parameter we're using is text. There we go. All right, let's hit the OK button. And then for now, we're OK. Oh, and sorry, we also need to do a material one. So let's go down to new parameter again. This will be called Material. And this is also going to be a type of parameter called Text. And we'll place that here. And then I'll just move the comments down to the bottom. So we'll use the Move Parameter Down button to do that. Okay, I think that does it. Let's just make sure we've got everything here. All right, let's hit the OK button. So now we have our family, column, width, height, and thickness, as well as count and type mark all filled out. So we'll need to fill in the glazed area material and comments later. Okay, so let's start by renaming the fields, or the headers, I should say. So we're just going to click on type mark, and we're going to change this to all caps, mark, and then count is going to be changed to quantity. QTY is fine for this. And then family is going to be changed to style type. We're actually going to add in a new field later, but for now just call it style/type. And then width is still width, but all caps. Height is height in all caps. Thickness is abbreviated to thick. And then with glazed area, DS, just change it, just remove the DS, the dash DS. Material is unchanged, and then comments will be called remarks. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to create a group for width and height, and we're going to call this one rough opening. So just select both width and height together. The way you do that is you just click and hold on width, drag over to height, and then the group icon or group tool should come up. So we're going to hit group, and then inside here we're going to call this one rough opening. There we are. Okay, so now we need to modify the sort order and format the text. So let's start by selecting the entire header row. So I'm just clicking and holding and then dragging through. And then I'm going to change my align vertical setting to middle. Let's select it again and click on font. So the font size for this is slightly larger than 1/8. Let's use 9/64. And we'll check the bold checkbox. There we go. Now it's not going to look the same as what it's going to look like on the final schedule, but at least it'll show bold. Okay. And then lastly is we're going to change the door schedule text to all caps. Not lastly, but for now I should say. So door, if I can get the caps lock to work. There it goes. And then this text is going to be 1/4 inch and bold. There we go. So far so good. Okay, so now we want to set up the schedule so that we're only going to modify or show one line per door type. Right now we're showing every door. These are all the different doors in the project, first and second floor. So we want to show just one of each. So let's go to the sorting grouping tab. So just click edit next to sorting grouping, and we're going to sort by the type mark. And then down here at the bottom where it says itemize every instance, just uncheck and then click OK. So now you can see the difference here. Now we just have one line per type of door with the quantity now showing the number of each type. Okay, moving on. So now we're going to go to formatting. So let's go to formatting and hit edit. So we're going to set the type mark, count. I'm just using my control key to select multiple fields here. Then width, height, thickness, glazed area DS, and material. We're going to change that to center alignment. We could have also done that by clicking on the field here and doing an align horizontal center, but either way, it still works. Okay, so now we've done that. The next thing is we need to remove the 0 feet in front of the thickness. So I'm just going to click somewhere inside here. Doesn't matter, you don't have to click the entire row, and then hit, or column. So click on Format Unit. We're going to uncheck project settings, and then we're going to suppress 0 feet. This is similar to what we did for the dimension style. So now it's just showing inches only. Okay, so now let's add in the area. Okay, so we'll start with this one here. So just type in based on the example in the book. So this will be, there we go, 5.84, and then SF for square feet. And then go down to the next one, and there'll be a dash for that one since there's no glazed area for these doors. Now once you type in the text once, it becomes a choice in the drop down. So you can just do it this way. So there's no need to keep retyping it. And then for this one, this will be 35.76 SF. This is just, I went into the door and then calculated the area of the glass with the region tool. Okay, and then lastly is another dash. And then for material, this is pretty much all wood. So we use wood for these first few. So this is why it was important when you named the, or when you put in the text for the capsules that they corresponded to the example, or else this would all be in a different sequence. And then this will be wood. This is metal again. This is metal glass. Let me put a slash there between the two. There we go. And then the last one is wood. And then the only remark will be for this metal door. This is the door between the garage and the house. This will be a 20-minute rated door. Now as we type all this information in, it's also going to show up as a parameter for the door. So for example, here's door E. Let's use the highlight and model tool to go to that door. So I'm just clicking inside E there, then I'm clicking on highlight and model, and it'll show you the actual door. So now if I click on the door, over here you'll see the new fields. So we have glazed area, material, and then comments. That's kind of a nice little way to cross-reference. Okay, so we're going to make an additional column now. So let's go back to the door schedule again. So we're going to create a new field called Name on Schedule DS. So I'm going to go to Fields. I'm doing a new parameter. We're calling this Name on Schedule -DS. And this will also be a text parameter. The reason why we're doing this is because we want to be able to show the style type in all caps, and we can't do that without renaming the family, and I didn't want to do that, so we're just going to create another field here. So I'm going to put this right after count and right before family. Okay, so now this will be filled out just like the wood and the glazed area and the remarks columns. So we're going to start with the first one. So we're just going to call this one raised. Make sure it's in caps. That's the whole point of this. So raised panel with side lights. Those are the little windows to the right and left of the door. And just stretch this over so you can see the whole thing. And then for the single flush, just call it flush for both of those. And for the closet, sliding closet. Okay, and then single flush is going to be called flush. And then overhead sectional will be called overhead sectional. And then double sliding will be double sliding. So some of these aren't really being renamed. We're just providing all caps for the text. So that way we'll have all caps for everything. And then flush, we'll just pick this one. Okay, so now let's rename this style/type. And then we're not deleting this column, we're just going to hide it. So let's do the hide command here, and then that way we have a replacement now. Okay, so now let's change this to align vertical middle, and then we'll change the font. So we're using 9/64 and bold. There you go. Okay, so we're pretty much got everything we need in the schedule. So now what we got to do is get rid of the blank row before data, and we're also going to change the outline of the schedule to wide lines. So let's go to appearance, and then here is the checkbox for blank row before data. You can go ahead and uncheck it, and then check outline and make it wide lines. There we go. And then we'll leave everything else the way it is. All right, so that's it. Now if you want to see what the schedule is going to look like on a sheet view, we can go ahead and do that now. In fact, why don't we? This isn't in the book, but this is something that you would do when you get to the portfolio. But for right now, you can create a blank sheet. So let's do that together. So we'll go to Sheets. We've done this before. Now we already have a sheet for schedules. So if you want, you can just open up that sheet and we can see the door schedule. So let's do that. So we already have the room, oh actually the door schedule is not there because we deleted it. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and just delete this sheet entirely. This is not deleting the views, by the way, it's just deleting the sheet. And then we'll go to New Sheet. And we're not going to use title blocks for this one. I'm going to hit None here. So it's just a blank sheet. And then I'll go up to my door schedule and then drag and drop it onto the sheet. Doesn't matter where you put it. Anywhere's fine. And then you can see here, now we have a more realistic view of the schedule. So I'm just going to widen up these row or columns so that each of them are one line in height. There we go. Doesn't look too bad. Now it's a little tough to see the wide lines. Let's turn on. See, there we go. Now you can see it. And then later on, there's a way to increase the width of the wide lines, but we're going to leave it like this for now. So this is basically the same schedule you're going to see on your sheet view for your first floor plan. We're going to put the door, the window, and the room finish schedule. Okay, so that does it for 3-1. So when we come back, we're going to start with the window schedule. So we'll see you for the next part.